Good morning and welcome to the Bachelor of Software Engineering program. This presentation is about the Induction Program, the learning management system that we will use for the Induction Program, and the selection test. Before we begin, we must remember today is the 5th of December. The applications have been open since the 15th of October and they close on the 19th of December. So there is time for other applicants to join. And if you know any others who are interested, please pass all the information on to them. The selection test is on Sunday, the 4th of January, 2026. I remind you that this video is on YouTube and YouTube gives many facilities that make it easy for you to get the information we are trying to give you. If you look at the beginning of the video on opportunities, challenges, and support at the BSc, which is on the same YouTube channel as this video, you will be able to understand how to use chapters in a video to quickly get to where you want, and how to set the auto-translate setting so that you can see subtitles in Sinhala and Tamil while you listen to me speaking in English. This will help you understand what I am saying, and also it will help you improve your English skills. Finally, you are able to create a transcript in any of the 3 languages and download it for you to read later if that is what you want. Now, the induction program. Induction means getting somebody into something. And in our program, we refer to induction to mean the advertisement, the awareness, the application, and all the activities that the Open University does until a student registers. So our induction program began on the 15th or before the 15th of October, and it will continue until registration in the middle of February. In this presentation, we will cover what a learning management system is, because a learning management system is a key to all distance education programs at the Open University. We will discuss the learning management system that we use, which is called Moodle. Then we will show you how to log into your account at the website where we have the learning management system and explain what a Moodle page looks like and how you use it. Then again, we will talk about the induction program that we are carrying out. Remember that it is only the software engineering program that has an induction program before registration. We will point out the importance of the learning management system in distance education and, of course, particularly in the software engineering program. Then we will discuss the fact that Moodle is software and you are going to learn to be software engineers. So you have to have a special attitude to Moodle as you use it. We will discuss online safety and etiquette on the learning management system, because many students are new to using the internet in this way, and there are some things that you must understand before you use the learning management system. We will talk about the selection test and give you some details about that, and conclude with a list of how you can get more information once you are on the learning management system. What is a learning management system? I usually go to Wikipedia as my starting point if I want to find out information on any topic. If you go there, you will see that A learning management system is a software application for the administration and delivery of educational programs. That is a long way of saying that a learning management system is software to facilitate learning. Facilitate means to make something easy or to make it possible. So the software is making your learning possible, right? As teachers, we are setting up the software to help you to learn. Now, the learning management systems are suited for distance learning, which is how we learn at the Open University. The software handles all aspects of the learning, starting with enrollment. Enrollment means getting a student onto a particular course. Delivery means how we get the learning material to you. There are different kinds of learning materials, as you should have already understood, and they are sent to you through the learning management system so that you use them in different ways to learn. The system is also used for assessment and evaluation. We can give you examinations, we can give you quizzes, you can submit your reports to the system, all that on the software. It is used for communications. Once we have you on the learning management system, we will not be sending you emails or making telephone calls or using WhatsApp groups. We will communicate through the learning management system because it has many advantages. But most importantly, the learning management system allows for student interaction and knowledge construction. It allows students to discuss things with each other. You can see a question that another student asks and you can answer that, and you can have your own discussion like you would do in a classroom, and together you will construct your knowledge. And if somebody's knowledge is not correct, then you can correct it. So that is one of the most important parts of the learning management system. Unfortunately, in this country still, our culture does not make it very easy for students to use a system like this. And we hope to change your attitudes even in the induction program so that you will use the software in the best way during your program. So in the induction program, we will actually practice to use the learning management system so that when the courses begin in March, you will already be very familiar and you can have your best learning experience. The software that we use, there are many learning management systems. The one that we use is called Moodle. Moodle is an acronym. That means it's a word created out of the first letter of a sentence or a phrase. Here, the phrase is modular, object-oriented, dynamic learning environment. Now, some of these words you will learn more about because you are going to learn about software. Especially the word object-oriented is going to be something that's going to be very familiar to you. If you again look at the Wikipedia article, it will also tell you that Moodle is free and open source software. And in the induction program, we will be talking about free and open source software also. Moodle is based on the constructivist approach to learning. There are several theories of learning, and the constructivist approach means that learning is understood as what happens when learners develop knowledge together, not when a teacher gives something to the learner, right? So learners have to develop the knowledge. What do the teachers do? They only help this process to happen. And Moodle is focused on helping the learners to develop knowledge together. Right? Now, this is software, so the Open University has to install and run the software somewhere. This temporary learning management system is on the cloud. I hope as people who are coming to do software engineering, you understand what the word cloud means. Once you register for the program, we use the Moodle installation referred to as OULMS, and that one is on servers, physical servers that are at the Open University in Colombo. How do you access the software? You can access the software, that is our learning management system, using a web browser or a mobile app. The web browser can be on your computer or your mobile phone, but there is also a mobile app. Now, if you want to know more about Moodle, Moodle itself has a YouTube channel because there is an organization that develops this software. And there are also many resources in Sinhala and Tamil on YouTube. You can search and find out many good videos to help you understand what Moodle is. Now, when we log into Moodle, your first login should be from a web browser. Please remember that. Not from the mobile app. Your first login should be from a web browser. So you have to have a computer and a web browser, or a mobile phone and a web browser, but you must use a web browser. Now, when you do the software engineering program, we recommend that you use the mobile phone for communications and even for submissions maybe. If you want to quickly submit a report, it might be easy for you to use the mobile phone. Definitely, if you want to quickly look at the notices on the learning management system or look at the discussions, reply to a discussion, you can use the mobile phone. It is very convenient. However, we strongly recommend that you use a laptop or desktop for reading material and posts, detailed posts, and watching videos and so on. You cannot follow this course, the program, using only a mobile phone. Even this video, maybe some of you will watch on a mobile phone. It is difficult to read what's on the screen if it's a mobile phone. I have created this presentation for people who are following it on a computer, not for people following it on a mobile phone, right? And many other materials, especially YouTube videos that are available online, are made for computer screens, big screens. So we strongly recommend that you either get yourself a computer, you don't have to own one, or make sure that you have access to a computer for several hours for most days of the week before you register for the program. Now we have created accounts for you on a temporary learning management system that we will use for the induction program. This is accessed at this web address, openlearn.lk, and your username is your national identity card number, right? The old numbers have a V at the end, and in this case, you must use a simple V. Even though your ID card may show a capital V, you must use a simple V as your username here. The more recent NIC numbers are just a number. All of you have the same default password, and as we will see now in the example, it has to be changed immediately. You cannot proceed without changing the password. Now, what is very important to remember is that once you change your password, then you have to remember the new password. It is your responsibility. We cannot help you after that, right? Your learning management system account is linked to your email address. That is the one that you gave in the application. So once you change your password and you forget it, you can reset the password without writing to us, right? So let us look at those three things: how to log in, change the password, and what to do if you forget that new password. So now we have a web browser. Remember, your first login should be on a web browser, and we will go to the website where we have the system. You will see a page like this and you have to log in. Now I have created a dummy student account so that in this video you will see exactly what you will see as a student when you log in. Okay? A teacher account will look a little different. So the dummy student account has a made up NIC number, and we have the default password, which is Moodle 123, and we will log in. Now, as I said, as soon as you log in, the system will make you change your password. First, you have to put in the old password and then put your new password in. The system makes you do it twice to make sure that you are familiar with your new password. And we save the changes. So we will continue. And you come, as you log in, you come to something on Moodle known as the dashboard. The dashboard will show you all the courses for which you are enrolled. In this case, it is the induction program. And at the moment, there are two courses, one called Learner Support and the other one called Computer Programming. Right? We will look at them later. But first, we are going to learn how to reset our password if we forget it. So let us log out. Now we have to log in again, and we remember the username. Your computer will also remember it for you. But we have forgotten the password. What do? You do not have to write back to the program. In fact, please don't. So once you have logged in for the first time, if you forget the password, you have to click on forgotten your username or password. Now, you can then enter either your username, which you should remember. After all, it is your NIC number. You can also enter the email address linked to this account. I will enter the username here and click search. Now the system will look to see whether this username is there in the database. And if you supply the correct username, an email should have been sent to you. Now, where does this email go? It goes to the email address that you have given us at application. So that is very important that you use that email address also, and that you know how to log into that email address. There we can't help you, right? That's very important. You have to make sure you can log into that email address. Now, this dummy student account is linked to the same email that we have used to answer student questions during the application period. And you will see that there is a question here, but here I now have a new email, password reset. A password reset was requested for this account is what you will see. And you have to click on this link and you go back to the place where you can reset your password. So now we have forgotten our old password, but we can set a new one. Right? This can only be done if you have access to that email address you have given us. Right? Nobody else can do this. Other people can't go in and put in your NIC number and change your password because they also have to have access to your email address. Right? So keeping that email address secure is your responsibility. Again, we will put in the password. And save the changes. Right. Now we will leave it for the moment and go back to the presentation. So here we have logged in, we have changed the password, and we know what to do if we lose our password. But we must be very clear on this. So if you cannot log in on the first attempt, right? If you put in your NIC number and the dummy password and then it does not log in, you do not get to that place where you change the password, then please send us an email to this email address bscinfo@ousl.lk. When you send an email, please use a proper subject line. For example, you can say cannot log into LMS. In any email, you must always include your name and your NIC number, because we have to check that you are using the correct NIC number that you have given in the application. You describe the problem and include a screenshot. Now, once you have logged in for the first time and changed your password, which the system makes you do, you have control of the LMS account. Then after that step, please do not email us if you forget your password, because we can't help you. You have to follow the procedure I have shown and recover using your email. Now, let's now go back to the system and look at the components of the induction program. We have two components at the moment. There will be other components that will be added soon. The first one is called learner support. And there we will give you all the general information about the university and the program. We will tell you how to apply for exemptions there or discuss about that. There is information about the selection test. And later on, after the selection test, we will give you all the information you need on how to select the courses, how many courses, and how to pay, and all those details before registration in February. The second section is a section on introduction to computers and computer programming, because many students coming to this program have very little experience of computer programming. Many of them have never programmed a computer. So we would like you to get started on learning some basic things even before the program. It makes a big difference. If you don't believe me, please look at the video that is on our YouTube channel from a senior student who had not had any experience in computer programming, who had not even done A-level mathematics. And she tells you there how she worked hard during the induction program and even after that doing free online courses on the internet and developing her skills. And today she is finally a student, but she's also working in the industry. Now, this induction program is for all applicants. Even if you are not selected at the selection test, you are able to access this website or this learning management system until March 2026, when the program will begin. So even if you don't get selected, we hope that you will look at these resources and learn something and develop your skills. Now let's go back and have a look at the induction program learning management system. So now we are back to the dashboard, and here, before we get started on looking at these two courses that are here, they are called courses. Each component that is on the learning management system is a course, but we are using one for learner support as well. Before we do anything with looking at those courses, I want to show you how to adjust your preferences, and that's very important. Now, the preferences are a whole lot of things, and you can go in and look at all these other things. That is up to you. And you can play around with the settings. You can't break anything. if you make a change, then you have to figure out how to change it back, but it will not affect the system or affect any other student. But here were two very important things I want to show you. First of all, editing your profile. So you click on edit profile, you will see that all of you have been not given a first name and a last name. That is because I want to give you the chance to put in the first name that you want to be known by and the last name that you want to be known by. Right? We have different ways of giving our names, so I want you to have that choice. This is the only thing that another student will see. Right? They will only see the first name and last name that you choose. They will not see your email address or your NIC number. Right? That's very important to understand. So this system is quite private. Your other information, your email address, mobile phone number, NIC number, not visible to any other student. Right? Your username is your NIC number, but that's not visible to another student. What's visible is the name that you put here. You can't change the email address. So you can not display. You can hide my email address from non-privileged users. And I recommend that you do that. I strongly recommend that you put in that setting, right? Because this is your settings. You have to make this. Because there's no need for other people to know your email address. So you hide my email address from non-privileged students. If they want to communicate with you, they can use the learning management system. Right? You can put in other information if you like. And then the system allows you to upload a picture also. Now here, I have to caution you to be very careful. I mean, I encourage you to put a picture, but put in just a normal picture, maybe just of your face, and a fairly low resolution one, because this picture, of course, the resolution other students see, they can access the picture. But it's quite all right to put a picture here. It makes it more friendly. Or you can put some avatar, something else that you like to show as yourself. Should be something. If you like, you can put in a picture. And you click on update profile. Right? So the important things are to change your name. And I recommend that you hide the email address from non-privileged users. Non-privileged users means other students. As a teacher, I can always see your email address, but other students won't be able to. And you update the profile. The next thing is preferences. Forum preferences are very important. Right? So here we will learn later what's a forum. But forums are all the discussions that go on in the learning management system. The teachers and all the other students will be posting. Now, if you get each post to your email as an email, then that is too many emails. You will be wasting your time deleting things, right? On the other hand, if you don't get any digest, also you don't know what is going on in the system. So I recommend that you say one email every day with only the subjects. So when you click on this like this, then the courses that you are in, not any other course, any post on the forums there, one line will come saying this subject was posted on the forum. In one email that comes usually with this system, sometime in the evening, about 5 or 6 p.m., the email will come. You can look at that and say, I like to know about this subject. Then you go to the LMS and check out on that post, right? So that is very useful, and I strongly recommend you do it here and also when you are doing the program. Forum auto subscribe, you must best to have it yes, so that when you post, then you will be notified especially about things that are going on in that forum. Right? And the other thing I recommend is to keep track of posts, highlight new post for you is very useful. So when you go to the learning management system, if there's a new post somewhere, it will be highlighted. So you can quickly go to that place and look at what is new. And do not mark the post as read. It's good because when the email comes, you only see the subject. So we don't mark the post. You go to the LMS and see it as new. So please, you can do whatever you want, but I strongly recommend that you have these settings under forum preferences. So that is the two different settings that I want you to look at: profile and forum preferences. Now we can go back to our dashboard and we can look at our courses. We'll look at first the learner support course because that's the most important thing. Now we were immediately taken to this new activity which I will come to, but let's go to the top. All the learning management system pages that you will see, even when you start the program, will look like this. There are different ways of laying out a Moodle page, but in the Open University, most courses use the standard layout, which is called the topic layout. So there are different topics here. And the first one is welcome, right? So this is just a welcome. And you will see certain things underlined that are colored blue. That means that these are links. So if you click on this, you will go to some other place. So if you click on this one, you will actually go to the same introductory video, or at least last year's version of it, and you will get to what we are talking about, right? Starting, if you click on this, you will go to some part of the introductory video where I am trying to tell you something. The whole video will be linked here because you must look at this video before you start using the system. Now, you have the next section almost in all courses will be called communications. So this is where the general communications happen between the teacher and the student and the other students, right? Now, you will see that Moodle has different icons. These are pages, just pages of text, right? So here I'm just giving you some basic instructions on how to get started. You must be familiar with these icons. It's like using Facebook or something. They also have their own icons. You should get familiar with these. This one means that there is a link to the website. A URL is in this place. So it's to a video or to some other part of the internet or some other part of the course. Now this communications topic, the first thing is a notice board. Now this symbol means it's a forum, right? So that's another kind of very, very important component of the learning management system. Now the notice board, and you will get one in every course. Sometimes it's called announcements. I like to call it the notice board because that is what's familiar. It is where the teacher will put messages for the student. Students cannot post in the notice board, right? As you will see, there is no place for you to post here as a student, but as a teacher, I will post, and I have given you a short welcome message, right? And like I mentioned, here I have given links. So when I say please use the general discussion forum, if you click on it, you will go to the general discussion forum like this directly, right? So that is the notice board. And then I am giving you a link to our website, which you should have seen already. The student guidebook for 2025 is available somewhere. So if you click on this, you will go to that Google Drive. And we have these forums, right? So there is a general discussion forum. So if you cannot find any other place to ask your question, because we have many discussion forums for different topics, as you will see. But if you can't find a suitable one, you can post here. Now, it's very important to understand that before you post, you must check the other posts, other students' posts, because if there are 1,000 of you, and right now on the 5th of December, there are 1,018 applicants put onto the LMS, you must first check whether the same question has been asked by somebody else. And if you like, you can click reply and say, I also have that question, but you don't have to ask it again. This makes it easy for the teacher and also for the other students, because all the students will be looking at the whole forum. We have a forum called testing, where we can use for test posts. So now we will go there. I encourage all of you, while watching this video, to log in and look at how to make a post, right? So we have a student has already come and posted something when this video is being made. That's very interesting how the student came here. Never mind. Somebody who has guessed how we are going to do this, but I will show you how to add a new discussion topic, and you can just say test post, and you can write whatever you want. Now here, there are many tools available to you. Just like a normal text editor, you can add images, you can insert audio. Please do not insert video files because they are too big and the system will have a big problem. So no video files, even images, put in a very simple image, please, not 100 megabyte image, because that will strain our system. As software engineers, you will learn about this. But very importantly, nowadays, you can actually record audio if you really want, but I recommend that you put it in text, because otherwise the teacher has to listen to all these audios and all the other students have to. So, but there are many facilities here. You can put in files, you can upload and so on. So for example, I'll show you how to, you can put a test post and you can upload an image. This is important in this learning management system, because very often if there are problems somewhere, we want a screenshot, then you can put in the screenshot. So you can browse this file here, and you can upload one from your computer, yeah, and so on. So we can upload some file, say of this, a file that I have on my computer, and upload it, right? And save the image. Oh, we have to describe it. There's a setting so that people who can't see, better to say decorative, and save the image. So we have a test post, a very interesting picture where a mother leopard is slapping her cow, right? So once you post it, it will be here, and you have actually 30 minutes to edit it, right? See, you can edit it here. You can always delete it, but you have 30 minutes to edit it. After that, the post will become permanent, right? Well, you can delete it then, but you can change your correction. So this is how to post, how to upload an image, and so on. Now let's look at some other things in the learning management system, learner support here. So we are giving you the basic information, and there will be other things here. There is a video presentation on course delivery and assessment, which you can start looking at. But all of you are probably most interested in the selection test. So here in this, already in the learning management system, we have a forum where you have questions about the selection test. Please do not send any more emails. Once you're on the system, you must only post your questions on the learning management system, right? I will not be responding to emails. There are actually 3 practice tests. This is a practice online quiz because in 2023, the selection test was online. And here's a practice online quiz, which you can see what it looks like. It's up to you. If you click on it, you will start the quiz. But we don't want to start the quiz, but you're quite, you can take this quiz as many times as you want. Then there are 2 practice papers. One is the practice paper we gave last year. And then we actually have the multiple choice questions from last year's selection test already uploaded, right? So you can start, if many students were asking questions about the selection test, well, here are some examples. The other thing that's very important for some applicants is exemptions. Some of you are coming with pre-existing qualifications and you want to be exempted from certain courses in the program. Those requests must be made very soon by the 15th of December. And we will discuss how you request your exemptions here. There is a form that's given here and so on. So now this is the learner support page for the moment. As we go along, there'll be more and more information and new topics added to this page. The other course, you can go to my courses, you will see only 2, is computer programming and information technology, right? So this is extremely important for you. It is something that all of you should look at, but especially students who have no experience or very little experience in programming must start working here, because otherwise you will find your program very difficult, right? And we are going to talk about 3 or 4 resources in particular. Now, most of these resources are what we call open educational resources, right? Open educational resources. And also some of them are what we call massively open online courses. And there's a little presentation explaining what these are, which you can look at. And again, we have announcements, a notice board, and a discussion forum. But now the first thing that I would like all of you to do is to join this free online course on something called Scratch. Scratch is a very simple introduction to programming, but you can learn a lot from it. And there is an online course on a platform called edX where you can, I have given you all the information, and if you have any problems, you can ask here, right? We have done this for many years. So there are some introductory sessions last year and 2 years ago, which you can look at. No, even before that, there are many sessions, but first thing is to go and start the course. There are also Scratch resources in Sinhala and Tamil that we will add here as we go along, right? Here, actually, I encourage you to add these resources, right? So right now it's blank. I hope that as to applicants and students now, you will add in resources here, because you can be the best person to help other students. As you complete the 9 projects in this course, you can indicate your progress. Now this is a little choice. So as you click the choice, you will see, you can go and look at how the other people are focusing, and you can see how you are doing compared to the other people, right? And you can submit. So this is Introduction Program in Scratch. Unless you are quite experienced in computer programming, I think all of you should start working on this, right? That's important. Then there are 2 general resources that we have found. There are many others. And here, Introduction to Computers and the Internet. One is on something called the Khan Academy. The Khan Academy is a very interesting online resource that has been around for about 15 or 18 years now. It's completely free. And then there is another course from Harvard University where the material is available here, where you can listen to some 6 lectures and then answer some questions to make sure that you know you have understood. So here also you can ask questions about these things and you can note your progress as you go along. Then the Khan Academy has separate little introductions to different aspects of computer programming. So again, I strongly recommend that you create an account on the Khan Academy and start working on these little tasks. They are very tiny things. These are actually meant for school children. But if you don't have any experience, you are at the level of a school child. This is not a problem. You must start somewhere. Don't think that you all are university students and you don't have to do these simple things. All your senior students will tell you that doing these kind of things helps you to be successful in your courses. Right? So you can work through this. Now this one is perhaps if you are a little experienced, but even if you don't, if you have the time, all of you should have a look at least at this program from the University of Moratuwa. It is a completely free program which actually covers quite a lot of the material you will do in the first year in the software engineering program. Right? We encourage all of you to go to this website to create an account and get started on the program. You don't have to complete the program, but get started on the program. So if you have issues doing those things, please post it here saying something happened, another student may help you or so on. So this website is optional, right? It is optional. No one is forcing you to do it, but it is strongly recommended, right? It is strongly recommended, and we have evidence that the students who came without any experience, who did Scratch and these other activities, are the ones who were successful, who have been successful. Now the program is going to start its 5th year. So we have data on that, and it is clear that those who have done these activities before the course started had an advantage during the course, right? So it's very important that you get started immediately on these things. You can prepare for the selection test, but you must get started on these things as well, right? That is what I was saying. Even if you do not get selected, doing these activities will help you get an understanding of so many new things that it will be beneficial for you. And all this is coming for only 750 rupees, right? You have only paid 750 rupees application fee. Now we will go back to the presentation. Now that you have seen the learning management system, I want to make sure that you understand why it is so useful for distance education. Let us think about communication between a student and a lecturer. If you have a doubt, right? Now remember, at the Open University, we do not have regular lectures. So you do not come every day, and the lecturer doesn't come every day to the same place for you to ask the question. So if you have a doubt, you can come and meet the lecturer. Yeah? But you are students all over Sri Lanka, and there is only one lecturer, then it's very difficult to do that. You can call the lecturer and have a conversation over the telephone. You can email the lecturer. Then you have to wait until the lecturer sends an email back, right? There is no guarantee that when you email, the lecturer is reading the email. Or you can post the question on the discussion forum on the learning management system. You have to think about these 4 methods of communicating with a teacher, right? Compare the methods. do they require the lecturer and the student to be involved at the same time? We use a special word for this. It's called synchronous. Which of these are synchronous? Which methods of communication require the lecturer and student to engage at the same time? So these two, meeting the lecturer and calling the lecturer, require that it's synchronous. Which methods require the two to be in the same place? The physical meeting does, right? Which methods are recorded, where you can go back and look at what happened in this communication? When you have a meeting, unless normally it's not recorded. Similarly, telephone calls are not recorded. However, the email that you send is saved on the computer, so we will not forget what we asked the lecturer. We will not forget the answer the lecturer sends to us. Similarly, on the discussion forum, it is all there in the system, so it's recorded. Which of these communications are visible to other students? Like transparent. And can others participate in this communication? These two features are only available if you use the discussion forum, because other students cannot see your email, they cannot listen to your telephone call, and they are not in the room when you meet the lecturer, right? So you will see that for distance education, by far the most efficient way of communication is using the learning management system, right? What if there are 1000 plus students? Right now, there's more than 1000 applicants. How can all of you come to meet me? It is not possible. How can you call me? If you waste time calling because there'll be a busy signal or because I don't answer the phone. And if you send 1000 emails, again, I will have a problem answering. So this is why the learning management system is the only communication tool that you should be using. It is good for you and it is good for the teachers, right? It's extremely important to understand that. Get used to it during the induction program. So the idea is that we are learning together on the learning management system. There is a virtual classroom. It is permanently open. Even in the middle of the night, the classroom is open. You can go and ask a question on the LMS. Nobody is there to see the question, but you can go and ask the question. Now, when we use this method, of course, we have to make some adjustments. You are used to going to classrooms and maybe tuition classes where the teacher is right there. Here is, firstly, questions have to be written, right? But you are free to write them in any language because Google Translate is available. For the language that I am not familiar with, I can use Google Translate. Voice clips are possible, but better if you don't use them. It just makes it life more difficult for us. Better to write the question. The main thing you have to learn to do is first you have to write the question, and there is a delay between the question and the answer. I am not looking at the LMS all the time. Maybe once a day at least, I will try to give you the answers. But what are the advantages? Everybody sees the question and the answer. So another student does not have to ask the same question. They can wait for me to reply and they can also answer. That is where the learning management system becomes extremely powerful, because I don't have to answer all the questions, other students will answer. So you have to please get used to that, become part of the group of people helping other students. It makes life easy for everybody. The answer is there quickly and reduces the load for the teacher. So this is what we mean by learners creating their knowledge together. The lecturer helps this process because if there is a mistake in something, I can correct it there on the forum. So it's extremely important to get this idea into your head. Now, we expect that already you are familiar with this kind of thing because many aspects of Moodle are similar to the social media that you have been using, like Facebook or Instagram. All those have threads where lots of different people can see and add their comments to a thread. So the forum posts are just like that. And Moodle, like we said, it's for social learning. That theory of education, it's called constructivism. Now, another important thing to understand is that Moodle is software, right? If you look at Wikipedia again, you will see the following statements. Moodle is written in PHP. Source code is hosted here, distributed under something, and it runs on all these words. What are these words? Unix, Linux, Windows, and any other systems that support PHP and a database. Now, for normal students at the Open University, they don't have to understand anything about all these words and what they mean. But you are going to do software engineering and you are going to learn how to write software. So for a software engineering student, Moodle should be something more than just a system that you use, just like you use a car or a bus, right? You must be always thinking, how does Moodle do this, right? Moodle is also free. How is it possible that such a complicated thing is completely free for anyone to use? We will learn about that also in the induction program. Now, if you have the correct attitude for the BSc, you will think of Moodle in a different way when compared to students of other programs. That's very important. You have to get the right attitude. If you are just listening to this and saying, oh, I won't worry about all this, I will learn it in March when the course starts, then I don't think you are the correct kind of student for this program, right? If you are coming to this program, you must be coming because you are interested in software and you take every chance to learn about it. So how does Moodle do all this? How does it give you that web browser? When you make a post, how does it put the text and the image together and put it in one place? It looks like magic, but it should not be magic to you because you are going to be software engineers. And if you are successful in the BSc, you can also say that you are a magician. Let's have a quick look at what this looks like. Here is github.com, which is a repository. It is a place where people store computer programs that are freely available so that other people can download and use them. So for example, if you look at Moodle here is the release that is available currently, 5.2. As software engineers, you will learn to understand all these things. And what you get here is a whole lot of directories which have little bits of the code. So if you look at any one of these folders, then you may be able to see the code. Here we go. So this is actually the PHP code. PHP is a programming language that runs a tiny part of this complicated software. And the whole software is made up of hundreds or maybe thousands of these kind of components, all put together carefully. So this is the kind of thing that you will learn to do. You will learn to write software like this or test software like this or use software like this when you do our program. Now I come to a very important part of this presentation, and that is privacy and safety on the learning management system. Now, the Open University is responsible for what happens on the learning management system, right? So when we enroll you, and I have told you about setting your profile, only your name is used to identify you on the LMS to others. Your NIC number, email address, telephone number, none of those things are visible. They only know your name. As I said, you can choose to add your picture, but you have to understand that misuse is possible. Now, the learning management system is the only channel that we will use to communicate with the software engineering applicants, right? Until you are all logged in, we will be sending emails and SMS messages to students, giving them the information how to log in. But after you log in, this will be the only channel that the induction program will use. Now, the administration of the university will also use again your email address and your mobile number to send messages, for example, about the admission card. That will come from them using those channels because you have given those channels. But other students will not be able to see those details. Okay? On the other hand, the OUSL is not responsible for any private groups on WhatsApp, Facebook, or any other social media. And we know that there are many groups that are there, and you students or applicants are joining all these groups. Now that is your responsibility. You have to take the risk. You have to understand. If you don't know already or if you haven't thought about it, when you join a WhatsApp group, you are sharing your telephone number, your name, if you have attached it to the telephone number, and your photograph, if you have uploaded a photograph, with many strangers. You don't know who else is on the group. You don't know who is the administrator of the group. And these people on the group could be in any other country, including countries that are well known for hacking and online frauds. So, if you join these groups, that is your responsibility. Abuse is possible, and it has happened even in the software engineering program. Some students have had their photographs taken from their WhatsApp accounts and misused and passed around in some ways. In addition, people are sent messages asking for more money, saying the Open University needs another fee, and things like that have happened. All that is because applicants and students have joined these other groups. So we cannot be responsible, right? And don't forget, most of these applicants, like you, are quite new to IT. Maybe you're using email also, not for the first time, but you're not very familiar with all these online things. So people like that are an attractive target for criminals, right? Unfortunately, we can't control this. We can only control what happens on the learning management system, right? So we can't control this. We can't punish people. Only the police can. So the best thing is to be very careful about all the groups that you join. Best is not to join these groups, but if you do join these groups, please make sure that at least your name and your photograph are not visible to everybody else on that group. Proper behavior. We use the word etiquette to mean proper behavior on the learning management system. Now, once you log in, you are responsible for all posts made using your login, right? Everything posted on the LMS is identified with one particular user, either a student or a teacher, right? So if you give your password to somebody else and that person posts something that is not good, that will be your responsibility. So the best thing is protect your password. Don't give it to anybody else. That's very important. The following types of posts are not allowed. You cannot harass anybody and you cannot abuse anybody. There is no need to criticize people for anything that they post. If you are able to make a constructive response or give an answer, you can give it. But there is no need to be abusive or any kind of harassment. Please do not make irrelevant posts. Post in the correct forum and post in only one forum. Some students post the same thing in all the forums on the LMS. That is very annoying to the teacher, and I will warn you once, and I will take some action if you keep doing it, right? If you don't get a response in one forum, you can post in the general forum, for example, but do not post the same thing immediately in several forums. That is very important to remember. You cannot advertise anything. You cannot advertise a YouTube channel, a tuition class, or any links to external downloads because we do not control them. Do not post any advertisements, any external links, and anything about any groups on the LMS. If you do that again, you will be punished. Of course, you cannot post illegal and inappropriate content. That goes without saying. How will you be punished? Well, this is the induction program. The software engineering program is doing it because we want our students to be ready. If you do anything like this, we will just cancel your account and you can be like any other student in other programs. You will not get the information. You can go and refer the website and get the information, right? If you are a student, a registered student, and you do this kind of thing, we can suspend your registration or we can cancel your registration. Now to the selection test. Again, to remind you, the date and time, Sunday the 4th of January. The location is all the regional centers and nearly all the study centers. The learning management system and the Open University website has the contact details of all these centers and the locations. Now, you will be asked to come to the center that you selected in your application. You have to come to that center. You cannot go to a different center and expect to have an exam paper and a desk available for you. That's very important. If you have problems about this, we can discuss that on the Learner Support Learning Management System. The university will send you an admission card that you have to download and print from the application portal, right? That is nothing to do with the software engineering program. That is to do with the examination division of the university. You'll be notified during the last week of December. Now on this admission card, your name and NIC are as you have entered them, right? So that's very important that we hope that that's correct. If some cases you have entered your name wrong, the wrong name will be there. That is okay. We can change that later. I will show you the admission card. You have to get your signature attested before you come for the test, right? That means you have to take it to some responsible person and you sign in front of them and then they will sign and put their seal or their stamp on the admission card to say, yes, this signature was made by this person whose NIC number is here. Now that sometimes is difficult for some people. So for example, you can go to the principal of your school if you are a recent school leaver. But if you need time to organize that, don't wait till the last minute. As soon as you get the admission card, get it done. Ask any questions on the learning management system. Here is an admission form. This is what it will look like. This is from last year, of course. So the date and the time are different, but it will tell you where to come and it will give you the date and the time. The second page of it, where we have deleted the applicant details, shows where you have to get it attested. You have to sign here and you have to get the responsible person to put the date and sign and the rubber stamp if they have one. Now, who is the responsible person? It is given here. You can read this and get a relevant person to do it. But this has to be done before you come to the examination. So please don't forget this or wait till the last moment. Let me again go over the details of the selection test. There are practice papers and one practice quiz on the learning management system, as I have shown you. The duration is 90 minutes and there are two parts. The first part, part A, will have 30 multiple choice questions. Each question has 5 choices and we give 60 marks for that part A. Now you get 2 marks for each correct response, but you also get minus 0.5 marks for one or more incorrect responses, right? So if, for example, you mark all the choices, then your expected result is 0, right? 2 times 1 minus 0.5 times 4. If you select more than one choice, of course, it is considered an incorrect response. Now, why do we have this penalty? We have this penalty because you are trying to be software engineers. When you write a piece of software, you must know that you are correct. You must be able to test immediately whether what you have done is correct or wrong. In other words, when you do it, you must always be thinking, how can I check whether this is the right answer? So we want people who know that they know and also who don't know what they don't know. So as a responsible software engineer, if you are given a task and you can't do it, you either go and look it up carefully or you get somebody's help Or you tell your supervisor, sorry, I can't do this right now. I don't know how to do this. But what you don't do is to go and pretend that you know and do something and give it back. That is wrong. That's the most dangerous kind of person. The person who does not know that they do not know, right? And in this country recently, we have got rid of a president because he did not know that he did not know, right? So the penalty is there because for this program, we want you to have that kind of attitude. Unfortunately, in most of the education system in this country, multiple choice is sort of considered like a lottery, where you can just randomly mark something and hope to get some marks. So we want to get rid of that attitude, and we are not the only university program that has penalties for multiple choice. For example, in medical faculties, their multiple choice questions have penalties because, as you can understand, a doctor has to be very certain that he knows something. He has to know what he doesn't know, otherwise somebody is going to die. So that is the kind of thinking behind having a penalty. Okay. Part B is writing and comprehension, 40 marks. There'll be two sections rather. One is to read a given passage and provide some short answers. And the other one is to write a short essay on a given topic, right? So that is the second section, and the total mark is 100. So now we recommend that you spend 50 to 60 minutes for part A, and of course if you spend 50 minutes for part A, then you have 40 for part B and so on. Roughly divide, but we see many students are doing it quite differently. Some students spend a lot of time on their multiple choice and then not a lot of time on the part B. Some students spend a lot of time on part B and not a lot of time on the multiple choice. So that is up to you. You have to decide how you are going to do this. You are the person who knows where you are strong and where you are weak, and you decide how to get the best mark that you can. So the selection test marks will be released by the end of January, and after that, those who have been selected from the selection test will get the documents they need to register for the program in the middle of February. That is all for this presentation. I would like to wish all of you all the best. If you have any questions or problems accessing the LMS for the first time, please email the usual email bscinfo@ousl.lk. And when you email, like I mentioned before, include your name and NIC number. Use a subject line, but explain in the message or the body of the email the details. Let us know if you are using the browser or the app to access, and you can include a screenshot. Now, this is only if you have a problem accessing the LMS for the first time. Once you access the LMS, please use only the LMS to ask questions. Do not email again. Right? We will not respond to emails for students who are on the LMS. Only email if you have a sensitive personal matter. For example, if you have some problem, personal problem that affects your selection test, then you can let us know by email, but everything else should be on the LMS. Thank you and good luck in the induction program.